you quite ready?
Yeah. I'm channeling my inner Foo with these banana chips.
That's awful.
Who is eating these banana chips? It must be a ghost. Spooky season.
Hi, Steph.
Hey, Ro.
It's episode 291. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us once again for another fantastic episode of the Foo Bar Show program. But first, I'll be at the Blarney Stone in Fountain Valley, California. That's going to be on October 29th. On November 13th, I'm at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Hollywood, California. Tickets are now on sale. They're now posted on our website. Go get yours now. And currently, set as our last show of the year, we're capping it off at the Canyon Inn in Yorba Linda, California on December 10th. Unless we book another one later that month, which I doubt. It's Christmas time, and I think everybody wants to chill. But for more information and more posted show dates for 2023, please go to thefallenelectric.com or click on the link at foobarshow.com. Lastly, Grass Store, everybody! Among the best cannabis delivery services around, if not the best, Steph. They're fast, reliable, and responsive. Everything I want and need from my weed person. Go to foobarshow.com and click on our Grass Store banner, and first-time users get 30% off of their purchase. And now, episode 291. Here we go. From Filthy Martini Studios in Ontario, California, it's the Foo Bar Show. Hey, what is up, everyone? I am Josie.
I'm Steph.
Thank you all very much for listening to the Foo Bar Show. Remember to hit subscribe and be sure to rate, review, and tell a friend like a champ. You can also listen in and get our swag at foobarshow.com. That's FOObarshow.com. And follow FOO Bar Show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Join in, drop us a line, and we'll foo it up like a couple of foos. Ain't that right, foos?
Yes.
Steph.
That is right.
Hi. It's just you and me again.
Another Steph episode.
Another Steph
episode.
episode.
Oh, yeah.
It's not as exciting as you make it out to be, but it's all we got.
You just need to believe.
Hey.
Where is the spirit of this podcast host?
No, it's totally there. In fact, let me I don't know how you want to take this, but check this out. Try this one on for size. Oh. So last week we were talking about how Mark was going to be on the show, right?
Yeah.
And then how Josh was going to be on the show, right?
Right.
And then guess who's not on the show today? Mark and or Josh. And Josh probably is still, fighting his long battle with the monkeypox. And I think he also had to coach some kind of soccer league whilst going through the monkeypox.
He's just giving everybody monkeypox.
Right. And how would you do that, Steph?
Just touch him.
You just got to, really? You just touch him?
Yeah, it's by touch. No, it's like chickenpox.
So it's given that sexual contact is also a part of it, right?
Yes, because you're touching.
Because you're touching him.
You're touching each other.
So why even bring that up?
Because there's still that stigma, like, oh, only this group of individuals can get it. No, everybody can get it. Okay, just fucking chill. Dude.
Like with AIDS?
Yeah.
Nice. And then Mark, ironically, and I wish I had it in my fingertips, and I guess I could have prepared that, but I'm not gonna. For I think the longest time, he's been saying that COVID don't want nothing to do with Mark Maples.
I believe we have that in recording.
Right.
Yeah.
We actually have that recorded, and it didn't. I can't say that aged well because COVID got Mark Maples. Everybody
got him.
He
jinxed himself.
He jinxed himself, bro. He was saying this the whole time, and now he is at home. Probably, I'm sure he's recovered just fine. Hopefully, it didn't get him as badly as it might have gotten to other people. But I haven't really gotten a status report. But I guess he was starting to feel some of the symptoms. And I think he attributes that to a recent trip to Florida that he had.
I thought he was wax vax and ready to relax.
Is that what he said?
Or is that
just something ugly people say?
That's just what people say.
Okay.
That's just what people say.
I've never heard anybody said that.
It's on a T-shirt.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Why don't you own a T-shirt that says this?
Because I'm cheap and I don't want to spend money on it.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But we wish you well, Mark, and I guess we can reschedule the next time that you're back in the studio. Probably not anytime soon.
Yeah. Not down for that.
No, well, I know we got to figure it out. And I only say that because in next week, I don't know if there's going to be a new pod or not. Maybe we can record it a little earlier. We've done it before because my band is going to be back in the studio recording another song. Probably going to be the last one of the year. There's a lot of stuff happening where I'm also playing a show. I'm recording music videos. The band's kind of picking up a little pace here.
Yeah. Well, we're also going to go on break.
After Thanksgiving. Yeah, we usually go on a break, and I just put a bunch of best ofs on.
A few more weeks then. Damn.
Yeah. And you know who hit us up recently? Doug Brody.
Oh,
Doug Brody. And you're listening to his new audiobook, right?
Oh, I finished it. Oh, I couldn't stop listening to it.
The Return of the Ship? The Shippening. Right?
Ship's Revenge.
Sorry, I totally had it wrong. The Ship's Revenge. Yes, because
so good.
We had him on to talk about the ship, and we were kind of touching on the Ship's Revenge.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to give anything away, and we still don't. And hopefully, maybe he'll be agreeable into being on when we give when we want to talk about it with him.
Yeah, well,
because it's so new that we don't want to spoil anything for those who still want to check it out.
It has been out for a while, and the reason why I haven't listened to it is because I have like this giant queue of books that I'm listening to. And I was like, I have to finally just listen to it because it's number 2. Well, in the series.
Yeah,
essentially, those books can be standalone books, like he said, but having read the first one really helps with the characters in the second one.
Yeah. So Doug Brody provided us with a free link for us to be able to download the new audiobook, which has been out, I think, for a few weeks now, right?
No, it's been out longer than that.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
No, we're just behind.
I said a few weeks because it's pretty vague kind of timeline there. That could have really meant 1 week, 2 weeks. Could have been 10.
It has come out in the past.
Could have been a series of weeks where it totaled up to a year. But you had to shit all over it, didn't you, Steph? Anyway.
I'm agreeing with you.
I know, we're on the same side. But you like the book, huh? I need to get on that. I need to dedicate some time to actually go through it.
You thought the first book was good?
I thought it was really good, yeah.
Then you're going to be really pleased with this one.
Is this the Empire Strikes Back? Is this the Terminator 2? Is this the... Come on, feed me another one that's pretty good.
Well, we were talking about like part 2s earlier with songs, like the Unforgiven 2.
Oh, right. Yeah,
versus
that's
the
true.
Unforgiven?
What was the first one that we were talking about?
Oh, Life in Technicolor.
Life in Technicolor 2 by Coldplay is much more superior than the regular old Life in Technicolor, which I believe was in their Viva La Vida album. If you're into Coldplay, you know how I know you like Coldplay. Oh wait, no, that's not how that goes. You know how I know you're gay. 'Cause you like Coldplay. Anyway, I fucked that one up again.
You sure did, and that doesn't age very well either. So,
or the string of jokes, because wokeness.
No, because people actually like Coldplay now.
No, they don't. I took a 180 on Coldplay a couple of years back because it just got really electronic and weird for me.
Yeah.
They veered away even from the adult contemporary, which was, I think, widely acceptable as kind of like that chill rock. And then they just, I don't know, money, I guess.
Well,
right?
yeah, I guess. I don't even know what their new albums are called. I haven't really been tracking them.
Yeah, and they don't even play them on rock stations anymore. It's more like on your Kiss FMs now. They're that band. They've crossed into Maroon 5 territory. No. I know. That's why I'm very upset with Coldplay. Have been for the last couple of years. And I kind of saw this coming. Because a lot of the English bands, a lot of the big English bands were veering in that direction. Now Muse did it, but they did it more electronic, kind of DJ-esque, with symphonic.
It still works with them though.
Yeah, I guess. But I
still like it.
But it wasn't like Plug-in Baby. It wasn't, like those other where they can still incorporate the electronic music along with their hard rock.
I get it.
A lot of English bands have been doing that lately, kind of trying to mix that in and blend it in. If you guys disagree, let us know. But yeah.
You're talking about like the mainstream big bands.
Yeah, I'm talking about like the big ones that have gotten too big for their britches. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
The britches, eh?
Yeah. So, Mark, we wish you well, man. Why did we get into Coldplay? Let's see.
Because of the second book.
Oh, we're on. No, we passed Mark now. We've been talking about Doug Brody. Yeah, Life in Technicolor 2, The Unforgiven 2 is better, in my opinion, than the regular Forgiven by Metallica. I think the Anthem Part 2 by Blink-182, which I actually have planned on playing that a little bit later on in the show, I thought was better than the regular Anthem one. So if you're into that kind of thing, check out these Part 2s that bands release every now and then. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. You know what's not a good Part 2? The fucking second installment of Lord of the Rings. What was it? The fucking
The Ring-a-ning?
No, I think it was the Two Towers.
Oh, the sequel.
The second part in the trilogy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh my God,
Two Towers.
that whole movie is they're just walking.
That's been the whole meme.
You're telling me that Gandalf could have just flown everybody there,
Yeah.
and this just dropped it off.
Dropped them off. Yeah.
No,
Like a helicopter putting out a fire. Could have just dropped them off.
The destination. It's about the journey, dude.
No, it's about getting billions and billions of dollars in fucking revenue for a long movie.
You're missing out with this
fantasy,
with the Rings of Power.
Yeah. So, well, we can talk about that in Geeking Out if you want, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Riveting. Well, it sounds awesome. Not for me. I don't think.
That's why I didn't elaborate, because I'm just like, I'm just gonna
tune you out.
It's gonna fall on deaf ears.
Yeah. No, I mean, maybe I'll check it out one day if there's like nothing else on, which is like virtually impossible now these days.
Oh, I'm all caught up so far. I think there's just a few more episodes left. So unless you're actually in the room watching it with me, you'll probably won't watch it.
I'm gonna miss out. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Okay. I'll chalk it up as it was A-okay.
I'll just recap what happens to you later.
You just do that.
Yeah.
That'd be great. All right. Well, before we get into Geeking Out, Steph, I wanted to have a quick joint report, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Are you on weed? Give me some. I'll smoke you two under the table.
Well, I don't know if you heard, Steph, but earlier this week, there was a momentous announcement on Thursday by your boy, Joe Biden.
My boy?
Your boy, Joe Biden. Now, I can't say that I saw this coming, but I am not upset that it happened. President Joe Biden announced on Thursday that he's pardoning individuals charged with a simple marijuana possession on a federal levels. But this decision does not affect broad groups of Americans and non-citizens charged with the crime. So, we already know what that's about. He's pardoning folks. It's kind of a step in the right direction. He's also going to establish a task force to look into declassifying cannabis as a Schedule 1 drug. Just to reclassify it, Schedule 2, 3, wherever it may land. It definitely doesn't belong in Schedule 1. We've talked about that. It's been known widely. Anybody who disagrees is just really doing it for political clout at this point. But what I wanted to talk about here is that what does it mean? What does it mean? Like I just said, it doesn't affect broad groups of Americans and non-citizens charged with the crime. Why is that? You got to figure that he's only doing this on a federal level, so it still applies to a municipal, a state law that somebody might have violated, and he's calling. He can't make them do it. But he's calling for the leaders of every state to look into, declassifying it, at least from their Schedule 1, from doing the same thing that he did and just letting people off the hook for being either caught in possession of it or having used it. Being held accountable for employment is another topic of discussion. So I think it's important to understand that, we're not out of the weeds yet. And while this is a step in the right direction, there's a lot of work to be done. What were your thoughts when you heard about this?
I was like, it's about time.
Yeah.
Like there's been many attempts to get this on the ballot. We voted for it on the state level. Mm-hmm. But at the federal level, finally it's getting some recognition to be.
It's in the conversation.
Yeah.
And I think it took something from the executive branch for them to actually say something, because you weren't going to hear it out of Congress. There's too many heads in there. There's too many opposing heads. Everybody's too much of a pussy to bring it up. And if they do, it's falling on deaf ears. The judges aren't bringing them up. So the only one that can is the actual, executive branch at this point, with your boy Joe. Sleepy Joe, man, actually coming through on a federally cannabis topic level. And one thing that bothers me, though, and I'm going to overlook the fact that a few years ago, Joe Biden was actually a part of those who participated in making the laws a little bit worse for cannabis users. I'm glad that he's kind of turned around and has realized that it's fucking silly to still do this.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the positive side of change, right? Because, you view one thing a certain way, but over time, as the science changes and as the society changes, so hopefully so do your views on that. And then, if it's a non-violent thing,
And similarly, a lot of people would disagree that, that's the same goes for like gay marriage or gay rights. Talk about it like 30 years ago, it probably is not where it was today. As much as there's still a lot of work to be done with that. It's come a long way. But what bugs me still is that they don't use it. The use of marijuana, I think, the word marijuana, when it should be classified as cannabis, if you want to have people take it seriously. Why do you think they still use the word marijuana to refer to it?
I think that's just what society has just called it for so long, but it is scientifically called cannabis.
Right.
Yeah, so like in all the science papers, it's cannabis.
Right. Like tobacco doesn't have another name. It's just tobacco.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know why marijuana specifically has so many different terms for it.
Yeah, well, I think the word marijuana came about as a racial or racist type of slight against Mexicans, like marijuana and things like that. But it should have always been called cannabis. And the fact that they use it now, even in conversation, even though the conversation was a positive one for the movement of trying to get cannabis recognized as not a bad drug or even a drug at all, it still bugs me that even I think we still need to change that. And I know I always kind of poke fun and tease at the way people try to change how other people use words. I think it's important that we recognize this scientifically and appropriately as cannabis, because I think it'll be not only taken more seriously, but it'll remove any other stigmas that people have with the association when using the word marijuana.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that comes down to just like public health officials or even just people in the media have to start using cannabis rather than marijuana or weed, because they still use that. They still use all of those words. They do. But then again, those pundits that are talking that way, they're likely potheads themselves. So, but when you're hearing it from, let's just say, a Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's going to use the medical and scientific terms because that's the right way to do it. Yeah. If you're trying to talk about it in an intelligent way to try to get a movement happening, or at least inform the public about such a movement happening. I don't know. That just seems like a whole nother battle. But it should come hand in hand, I think. It does. Yeah, it should. But anyway, just some food for thought, I thought, for those folks out there, because now that this is a big topic of conversation, and hopefully the federally the cannabis will be descheduled from that Schedule 1, and then we can begin studying it on a federal level a lot wider than before. We can start using hemp for more practical things around just things that you do every day. Building materials. Hemp is actually incorporated into a lot of things more and more now. Yeah, now that it's been more associated with that got legalized when CBD was cool. Yeah. With the federal, with the feds. So
I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes. Hopefully, he doesn't get crushed, somewhere else in the checks and balances. But at least it's happening now from an executive level. We haven't heard this at all from any president. I don't think.
No, this is the first time.
This is the first time we at least that something like this goes this far.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, big ups to your boy, Joe Biden. All right, that's going to do it.
Smoke weed every day.
So let's get started with Geeking Out, shall we?
Okay, nerds, let's go!
Your boy David Harbour, Steph.
Damn, they're all my boys.
You got a lot of boys. David Harbour, man, the one of the favorites that came out of the Netflix series Stranger Things. He's doing another project that's coming out in a couple of months, man. This new movie that he's in, and I saw it as a sponsored posting on Instagram this week. Violent Night. An elite team of mercenaries breaks into a family compound on Christmas Eve, taking everyone hostage inside. However, they aren't prepared for a surprise combatant. Santa Claus is on the grounds, and he's about to show why this Nick is no saint. So, pretty much in a nutshell, Santa Claus is a badass. And he's pretty much a superhero in this trailer. It's a lengthy trailer. I don't know if you want me to play it. It's a lengthy trailer. It's not necessary.
No, it's not necessary. Just you guys can Google it, but it looks so dope. Like you can see all the magic that surrounds Santa.
It's Die Hard for Santa Claus.
That's what it is. That's what
exactly
it
what it is,
dude.
And you know what? This is going to be actually a Christmas movie.
To her, it's a Christmas movie.
But there will be no question. There won't be two factions of people that say that this is either a Christmas movie or it's not. This is absolutely a Christmas movie because it's Santa Claus and it takes place on Christmas.
Yes.
So, wanted to not let that one go before we talk about everything else that's on Geeking Out today. Do yourselves a favor. If it hasn't come up on your Instagram or Facebook feed, just type it in, Violent Night, and you'll see a picture of David Harbour with a candy cane in his mouth.
Jingle bell, motherfucker.
That's right. What did you want? Anything you wanted to shoehorn in here?
Oh yeah, spooky season.
Yeah, spooky season.
So I know you love listening to this podcast, but just in case you wanted to listen to something spooky, head on over to the Cryptid Factor.
Say what now?
The Cryptid Factor.
One more
That's
time.
with your boy Reese Darby.
Oh, he's my boy. Yes, he is my boy.
He's your boy.
He's my Kiwi.
Dan Schreiber and Buttons. Who the fuck
is Buttons? Is that a dog?
Dude, no, it's their friend.
Oh, they just call him Buttons.
So those three guys,
those
three
silly
homies, your boys,
have
a podcast, and it's called The Cryptid Factor. And they talk about all of these weird, strange, and unexplained things that are happening. Pretty much cryptozoology. And they do it like in a comedic sense. And they actually go out and they'll interview people surrounding whatever story it is. So some of these episodes, they're spaced out because they all have other careers that they're doing.
Yeah.
But it's really enjoyable. And if you want to learn more about cryptozoology and you want to laugh too, that would be the podcast for you.
You cannot laugh with Reese Darby. That guy's a freaking monster.
And he genuinely loves all of this, sci-fi cryptozoology stuff.
Yeah, he's a big nerd.
Oh, yeah.
I know that. I know that about him.
So check out the Cryptoid Factor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. After you listen to this podcast.
After you listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Once we're done here.
And you want some more spookiness.
We'll move your way over there. One thing I wanted to bring up now, this week we've got, I believe we got the second teaser for Deadpool, right? Or was it that last week? And we just didn't talk about it.
We didn't talk about it. That was
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we recently got a couple teasers for Deadpool, and now we know that it's going to be having Wolverine join him, the classic Hugh Jackman Wolverine too. They didn't even recast with a new guy, but tangentially related to Deadpool. If you guys remember, T.J. Miller was a big part of the first two Deadpool movies as his best friend Weasel. And this is making headlines because yesterday, and I'm getting this from the Hollywood Reporter, T.J. Miller says he won't work with Ryan Reynolds again after awkward on-set Deadpool moment. So the actor who played the title character's close friend Weasel in the widely popular 2016 original film and subsequent 2018 sequel was a recent guest on Ya Boi's Adam Carolla show podcast. During the interview, Miller said that he has no plans to work again with Ryan Reynolds following that he described what he described as an awkward onset moment with them. When Adam Carolla asked Miller if he's close to Reynolds, who stars as, of course, Deadpool, he says, I got along with him a lot better on the first Deadpool because he wasn't a huge movie star, like a huge movie star. He explains that he loves him as a comedian, but that he felt that Reynolds had changed after the phenomenal success of the first film. So he's claiming that, the fame and success changed Ryan Reynolds. And if anything, I think that made him more endearing, no? At least his public persona is.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Ryan Reynolds. I don't know him personally, but
Now, when he asked him, would you work with him again? He's like, would I work with him again? No, I would not work with him again. But I've said that about Michael Bay, and now we're friends, and I would work with him again. But I think Michael Bay is different, and I think he's talking about his. Wasn't he in one of the Transformers films? T.J. Miller, he was, right? Sounds right.
Probably.
Sounds right.
Michael. Yeah, it would be a Transformers movie.
Yeah. He went on to say that it's weird that he hates me. So yeah, he's under the impression that Ryan Reynolds hates him. He says that we had a really weird moment on Deadpool where he said, let's do one more take. And then as the character, he was horrifically mean to me as if I'm Weasel. So he was like, what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star, but you do just enough exposition so that it's funny, and then we can leave and get back to the real movie. Miller referred to the purported incident as not a great experience for me, and he recalled himself and other members of the film's team being unsure of how to respond. Miller, who said that he never asked Reynolds about the moment, added that he doesn't wish the franchise ill will, but he has no intention of returning, although that he implied that he was not even asked to return in the first place. So it just seems to me like he might have taken a quick kind of quip out of context. This article also goes on to say that, TJ's credibility hasn't been great either. Because didn't he get kicked out of the last season of Silicon Valley? Or he wasn't in it at least, right? Because of his alcoholism?
I think so. And then he had to, I don't know if he went to rehab or I was watching an interview with him and he said that he just left with his wife to just kind of recover. So I don't know what that entails. But he did take a break from his career.
One of the actresses from Silicon Valley, Alice Wetterland, said in a tweet that Miller was a bully and petulant brat during her time on the show and that he was enabled by other powerful members of the comedy series team. At the time, HBO said in a statement that the company was disappointed to learn of her concerns. And now, I mean, we know what he can be. I'm sure TJ Miller is a really nice guy. But I think he might go too far on some things.
Well, we don't really know because we only have one side of the story at this point.
Yeah, we weren't there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And I don't know that Ryan Reynolds would respond to this. Doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would, or at least his PR team wouldn't let him.
I mean, does it need a response?
I don't know that he does. And while I think that Weasel was a big part in kind of establishing the Deadpool story, he's probably no longer needed moving forward.
He's a bartender.
Yeah, but it was like his best friend.
His best friend?
His best friend. And I took a dab, everybody. And he's also the guy who came up with Deadpool, sort of. No? The name.
in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie.
Because they had a dead pool.
Right. Of who would die out of all the mercenaries. Right. Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know how this is news. I really don't. It's like, just give us the cast already.
Yeah.
But, if he doesn't come back, it doesn't come back. I mean, it just, he doesn't have ill words. So, I don't know. There's really nothing there.
Okay.
Right?
I guess if you look at it that way, you're right.
Thanks for that story.
Yeah.
Back to you in the studio.
We'll be right back. I don't know what else. I mean, I haven't really been keeping up. Like Andor, we're so behind.
No, I think we decided that we were just gonna wait to binge the whole thing.
I'm down. I'm down for that because it seems like a bingeable type of show.
There are a couple episodes that are less than 30 minutes, and then when you have episodes back to back, it automatically skips the credits for the next episode.
Yeah.
Or for the current episode into the next episode, so we can just watch it.
We've been keeping up with Rick and Morty, though. We've been keeping up with She-Hulk. That's been okay.
Oh, that Daredevil episode.
The Daredevil episode was dope. I like that.
So good.
So this is an introduction to Daredevil as a reboot to his character. And you pointed out that they're using his first uniform, the yellow one.
And we have talked about this on the pod. That yellow-red scheme, that was... in the comics, it is his original costume before he went like full red.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they've already established that he has his own practice. And so that is continuity between his series and She-Hulk now. Mm-hmm. So
you think it's a continuation rather than a reboot for the character?
I don't think they're going to reboot the whole character.
Well,
they're just going to streamline him in somehow, and they did that successfully in this episode.
Yeah. And then the Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin is going to be...
It's the same back. Kingpin from...
Well, actually, they're making him bigger. They're making him appear bigger on screen in the MCU.
Yeah. He looked pretty big in Daredevil, but now he looks bigger.
He looks fucking menacing over in when he was on whatchamacallit's show. Jeremy Renner. Come on, you got to help me out here. Tony Hawk. Hawkeye.
Yeah, there you go.
Tony Hawk.
There you go. That wasn't the show, though.
No? What was it?
What was the show called?
I don't know. It wasn't Hawkeye? Hawkeye and Friends? Hawkeye and Friends? Am I crazy? What was the fucking name of the show? Was it not Hawkeye?
Kate Bishop was her name.
Okay, what was the name of the show? You're the one giving me shit. Was it not Hawkeye? Is it Hawkeye? It's Hawkeye.
It is Hawkeye.
Jesus Christ. See, I'm not going crazy here.
You're going to give yourself an aneurysm.
I just had a dab. I'm not fucking stupid. But She-Hulk has been pretty fucking satisfying, I gotta say. Except for the animation, which I'm choosing to look past. It's not great. The computer animation. CGI on like her appearance. I liked her uniform. I liked her spandex, superhero uniform.
That for me was reminiscent of the Avengers full bodysuit when they went to fucking Quantum Leap. Through that shit. That maroon and white bodysuit. Do you remember that?
Nope. What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, damn, I gotta find it. It's like a specific...
Like a movie? TV show?
No, in the Avengers. I think it was in... I believe it was Endgame.
Okay.
They were all standing in that circle.
Those
bodysuits.
Those bodysuits.
Yeah.
I see what you mean now. Yeah, I guess kind of.
It looks
similar.
like that, except it's just instead of maroon and white, it's white and purple.
Well, I mean, it's stretchy material.
Yeah.
Because she's gonna grow and shrink.
It's spandex.
Right. It's pretty much spandex. But I think it, just like any other superhero material, you're going to want that cloth to be able to absorb punishment, to survive in high temperature situations,
Nanotechnology.
Right. Which is...
Spider silk.
And it's nice to know that now the universe has been introduced to the guy who makes these costumes, which is kind of a subtle kind of thing that they threw in there. He's like, yeah, somebody makes these costumes. Who is it? And now we met him. And it's just some flamboyant dude who is really reminiscent of the character. What's her name from the Incredibles?
From The Incredibles? Oh, let me look that
lady.
up.
But you know
that little short lady with the hair that always just looks
right
disappointed with what you're wearing.
Yeah, that Andy Warhol-esque kind of look about her. Yeah, I think that they're using that as kind of like an undertone to this character's persona. I forget this
Edna.
character. Edna, right. Yeah. She was probably one of my favorite things in The Incredibles.
Things?
Yeah.
People?
People.
Characters.
Words.
Palabra.
Yeah. What else did you want to talk about? That it? Los Spookies. We haven't caught up with that on season 2 yet.
That werewolf.
Josh
Show.
and the Foo are giving it good marks.
What is it called?
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night?
Yeah, we still need to watch that one. We'll probably talk about that next time we do a pod. By then,
Yeah.
because I've seen some other clips of it, and they use some pretty cool CGI, even though it's kind of filmed in this kind of old style, black and white, 1930s grainy film style. You still get a lot of CGI in there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dope. And supposedly it's supposed to expand the Monsterverse.
Yeah.
So that I know nothing about. Do you?
You get those classic monsters.
That's a DC thing. That's a Universal thing.
Well, then why is there a werewolf in this one?
I don't fucking know, man.
Werewolves are universal.
Aren't they? Isn't it ubiquitous? Does somebody own werewolves?
I believe werewolves are pronounced werewolf.
Because you're a foo. Stupid.
It's a full moon today.
It is a full moon today.
It's a full moon.
Thanks, Steph. I think that's going to do it for Geeking Out. You good with that?
I'm cool.
All right, let's finish this off with the music highlights. Well, Steph, guess who I'm talking about today once again?
Ya Boi.
My boy Zach. No, well, I could if you want me to, but I'm not. Well, let me just give him a mention. Zack De La Rocha unfortunately canceled the rest of the Rage Against the Machine tour, the tour that we thought we were going to see him in February over in Glendale, Arizona, the tour that we've been hanging on to tickets for at least for over 2 years.
No, we bought these tickets
2019.
2019.
So 3 years now.
20. Huh?
Yeah, this time of the year, 2019, 3 years. So it would have been 3.5 years before we actually saw him, and it was on the calendar. I already asked for my PTO from work.
20, 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
That's 4 years.
Well, not quite, because we bought him around this time of the year in 2019. So it would have been like
Just round up,
3.5.
dude.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
We've been holding on to these tickets for 4 years.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. God damn it. All right. Yeah. So no other news. I mean, the fact that he had to cancel it was, majorly and 100% due to his Achilles heel tendon. Apparently, he only had like 8% of it in use.
That's fucking scary, dude.
And he was still playing shows and kind of like rocking out and punishing his heel on the ground. You would see him on the box that he was sitting on while he was, was doing the vocals for these shows, and he'd be rocking out so hard where he would like be slamming and tapping. If I say tap the toe or tap the shoe, that's not doing it. He was fucking slamming his foot on the ground as he was rocking out. He probably made it worse.
Yeah, I
Tons
bet.
worse
Oh
by
yeah,
doing
I
that.
bet. And not only that, but you still have to walk from point A to point B, touring all over the place.
Yeah, you're pretty much being carried around, or if not, you're like on a cane, or if you're smart, in a wheelchair. Because he's just punishing himself at this point, and you got to give it the proper recovery time, the proper treatment. Can you even get surgery on that?
Yeah, there's surgery for it.
So that's likely what he's gonna be
basketball
doing.
players get it,
Yeah.
football players get it. You know what what part of the body that lifts? So your Achilles tendon is on the back of your ankle.
Yeah.
That attaches to your calf muscles.
Yeah.
So that actually, when you use the calf muscles, it actually pulls your foot into toe touch. Mm-hmm. So it allows you to push off the floor.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that, then you're just gonna have to swing your foot over, and it sucks because then the whole leg just gets messed up.
Right. My my elementary school teacher, he was pitching like a ball or throwing a football to a kid one day, and then out of nowhere he stumbles into the classroom because he just ripped his Achilles by doing that. And he used to play football back when he was in UCLA. So you know he was kind of an athletic dude, but he was more like that Pachuco type of old style foo kind of guy. He always wore like sandals, those Mexican sandals, those like Cuba Vera kind of shirts and pants.
How high were your socks?
I think he would pass the sock check on any given day, on any given motherfucking day.
Okay.
The guy was a G. He was one of my favorite teachers ever. He was my teacher from 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, and he tore his Achilles and completely. Like, it didn't even hang on like Zack De La Rocha's is right now, where like the entire calf just like slingshotted into his knee, where like the whole thing was just fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to get some surgery. And this was in the early 90s, so I'm sure the surgeries weren't as sophisticated as they are now.
No.
And he probably never was able to walk the same ever again.
There was just recently, the Olympics that just passed, there was an Olympian gymnast that tore his Achilles, and the recovery was supposed to be at least 6 months. But since he's an athlete, you know, they train better. They have a better outcome.
Yeah.
He pushed it to 3 months. Like, he was able to kind of recover in 3 months, but you can tell he was still struggling every single time he performed. But that's a short recovery time. Like 6 months. Some people don't even rehab in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like after a major surgery like that.
Yeah, you got to give it time to heal. So we'll see what happens, man. So everybody who's listening and got tickets to that and are somehow finding out through us, you're going to get your refund within the next 30 days. And if you paid with cash, you need to contact where you bought your tickets so that you can get that refund issued back to you, as just a heads up to everybody. But moving on, I wanted to talk about Paramore too. They're back in the scene, and they came out with a single. Now, this is different. This does not sound like Paramore. Have you heard it?
I've heard a snippet of it.
Yeah, This Is Why is the name of the new song. Here, I was only going to play a snippet, but since you have only ever heard the snippet, I'm going to play up until like a good healthy length. So This Is Why by Paramore. Are you familiar with the original anthem track?
No.
Were you a fan of the Enema of the State album when that came out?
I was never really a big Blink-182 fan. So I never really got into their music until like later in life.
Yeah. I can never say that I was a huge fan. I was just always aware of them.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say that I bought their records, but I would have friends who would have the records, and then I would borrow them and listen to them, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, this is what they're up to. I agree. Boom.
I am most familiar with the Take Off Your Pants and Jacket album.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good album. It's a good follow-up album to the Enema of the State, which kind of put them on the map. I mean, Dude Ranch put them on the map with Damn It, but then when they got Travis Barker on Enema of the State, and he just fucking blew our minds on that album. He's Blink-182. People argue that it's Mark and Tom, but without Travis, it's different. It's not the same. They're just another sloppy punk band, I think. Yeah. Would you watch them? Would you go see them? Because they're obviously going to do a nostalgia tour.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind. Saw it was like the Pop Disaster tour with Green Day. It was Jimmy Eat World, Green Day, and Blink-182. this was years ago. I think I probably was still in high school when that was around. And my mom took me, and that was my first time seeing Blink-182.
So you actually have seen them. I've never seen them. That's cool. Interesting. Were they good? Or were they sloppy?
No, because I was a huge Green Day fan, so I loved Green Day, and they came out after them, so they closed out the show, Blink-182.
Okay.
So what I saw was just like, it was cool. But during that tour, they had Travis strapped down to the drum set, and they flipped him over.
Yeah.
So that was like...
That's cool.
That was a big thing.
The only other band who did that at that time, I think, was just Slipknot. Did that with Joey Jordison. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Cool, man. Cool. I think that's going to do it for music. And the show, man. So what'd you think about this one, Steph?
Short and sweet.
Is it short and sweet? Nope.
Damn it.
We crossed the hour mark. Let's just say it was sweet. Josh, I hope, wait, you're not sick, really. You're fine.
No, he's too busy with his fantasy foosball.
No, he was going to coach, too, some
and
kids'
the other
ASO game or
foosball.
whatever. Yeah.
He's got 2 foosballs.
To juggle. Yeah.
A lot of balls.
And Mark, we'll figure out when we can get you on in person here, because it's always a great time having you.
Yeah, recover first and then.
Yeah, don't be passing around the vid. Yeah, that's it. All right, well, come on back next week. And thank y'all very much for listening into the Foo Bar Show. Remember to hit subscribe and be sure to rate, review, and tell a friend like a freaking champion. You can also listen in and get our swag at foobarshow.com. That's FOObarshow.com. And follow FOO Bar Show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Join in, drop us a line, and we'll foo it up like a couple of foos. I've been Joe C.
Having Steph.
Signing off, saying, don't be a dick.